Hello and welcome back. My name is Loopy and today I will be showing you my Christmassy igloo and even a tutorial on how to make it. So without further ado, let's get in to this video. Also, before we start, did any of you notice my amazing Christmas skin? I mean, just look at that. It's even got the dangly bit on the hat and textures on the skin. I just love it. But no more distractions, let's get on with this video. So from the outside we can see that it is a very nice, cozy looking igloo. And if we go inside, we can see that there are two beds, meaning it is a two-player igloo. Now this is a very simplistic design. You can see that there isn't much to it, but I'm loving these new candles in the 1.17 snapshot. But anyway, that is literally the whole igloo, apart from this log fire here. However, you know me, I'm a redstoner. I can't do a build without a bit of redstone in it. So, you may be wondering, Loopy, what is this redstone you speak of? Where is it? I can't see any. Well, it is cleverly hidden in these barrels here. You can see that they are actually barrels. The underside of a barrel looks exactly like spruce floor. So what we've got here is an ID lock in each corner, just like this, and you need the correct piece of paper, and I do have it. The correct ID cards for each one is hello, please, can I, and finally, come in. Hello, please, can I come in? And then you can see that the floor opens up underneath the bed and looks extremely cool. Now that we've found the secret entrance, let's hop inside, and you can see that there is a winding staircase all the way down into this lobby area. And here we can collect our card again so that we haven't lost our ID cards, our precious, precious ID cards. And next to here, you can see we have infinite food, amazing food. I mean, imagine actually having that many enchanted golden apples. Then we've got important shulker boxes, and next to that, we have enchanted weapons. Then on the other side of the room, we have our armour. I don't know why people would have leather armour when you can have enchanted netherite armour, but who cares, it looks cool. Then, if we make our way to the back of the room, we can see a nice sitting area with a coffee table that is made with armour stands and a slab. It looks very cool. Then, over to our right, you can see a lever combination lock. Yes, sorry, that redstone isn't enough. I need more redstone. So let's quickly type in our code, which is all of the surrounding ones just like this, and then a very quick door will open and then we can close it up after us. In here we can see a netherite block thrown. Imagine doing that in survival. That will take hours upon hours. And next to it we've got lots and lots of diamonds. Here we've got our weapons and here we've got our armour. Then, most important of all, we have the redstone, the almighty redstone. Now that you've had a full tour of my igloo and even saw my password, I hope you won't tell anybody my password, we can head on outside to the surface. So to do that, we'll just go up our winding staircase like so, crouch under the bed, and finally grab a bed from here, and you can see even more barrels. Place a bed in the middle barrel. You can hear a clicking. This will close up, no trace of it. Collect the bed, and place it back in the barrel. Simple as that. You can leave and no one will know that you have an evil underground layer below a very nice looking igloo. Before we start, I'd just like to say that I didn't in fact build the main body of this igloo. It was made by Skrinic Deemer, who I'll leave his channel in the description below. So what we're doing here is making the main frame or body of the igloo. What we're going to do now is fill the walls in. Once we've filled in the walls, we're going to go up to the next level as shown up here. Before we do that, however, we want to fill in the floor with spruce planks because it's much easier to do so now once everything's open plan than later when we don't have much space. Next, we're going to do the penultimate layer, and it makes it look more like a sphere, or half sphere in this case, if we level it up, and then later on we will be adding snow to make it look more circular. Now we're going to do the door, and you can use whatever door you want, but I prefer spruce. Next, we're going to fill in these windows with light blue glass panes. You can choose whatever colour you want, but I personally think that light blue is the best. Sometimes it's kind of tricky when you're placing the panes next to each other because they have such a small hitbox. Now we're doing the side windows like this, and yes, it does look a bit weird at the moment, but you can see now we're doing an upgrade so that it does fill it all in. We'll do this all around, and then later on we'll also add the fill-in all around, just like so, and you can see it's beginning to look more like a normal igloo. Now we're going to be doing the slabs around it to give it a bit of depth and colour. I personally quite like it because it adds lots of colour, but I don't know, I definitely think it's worth it. It was a good idea from Dima. Later on, we will be adding even more depth to this slabs, just like so. So what we're going to do is make it a full block around the edges like so. It just makes it look slightly better. Then what we're going to do is add the chimney, so stone bricks all around in the corners, and then later on lodestone just like so. Lodestone wasn't in his tutorial, but I just thought it would look a lot better. From now on, this is all my design, well, most of my design. Some ideas have come from Dima. Now we're going to be doing some interior decorations with some lanterns, and again we're doing the bookcases with the bed. I think it looks quite good. And you can see that this is where the secret entrance is going to be. It's going to be under the bed. Now I'm making a kind of bunk / viewing area so that you can climb up and have a lovely view of the snowy desert. It is quite boring. But now we're doing a bit more decoration, filling in space, I guess, with the candles. I love the new candles in 1.17. I am playing in the snapshot. I don't know if they're in Bedrock yet, but when you're in Java you can get the snapshot. Now we're filling in carpet just to give it a bit more depth. Finally, we're going to be doing storage units and giving it a kind of stylish storage unit. Then again, the candles, because they look great. Now we're going back to what I said earlier, which is making it look more circular with the snow layers. So here, when it's close, we're doing 5 layers, and when it's far, we're doing 2 layers. It makes it look more like a curve rather than a square. We are also doing it on the corners like this so that it isn't so spiky. We'll also do it on the top like this, just to give it a more levelled cap. And that is the whole thing complete. Alright, now that we've got the building out the way, we can finally take a look at the redstone. And yes, it is a mess of redstone bits and bobs. But here we have one module right here, and it consists of a T flip-flop, which is linked to an auto dropper, which is linked to an item filter, and a falling edge monostable circuit. Now I'll explain what each of these are for. The falling edge monostable circuit is to allow an item that has been placed in the barrel to be released into this hopper here. If it is the correct ID, it will move into this hopper, which will move into the dropper, powering this auto dropper and firing it out into this water stream, which leads to this chest over here collecting our ID. However, when the auto dropper is fired, it will also connect to this T flip-flop here, unpowering this redstone torch. Now if all 4 of these redstone torches, this one, this one, this one and this one are off, then this redstone line will turn off, allowing this observer to fire once, powering this line just here, which powers the double piston extender. Oh my gosh, in Java, double piston extenders are tiny. It is literally just a repeater on 4 ticks and an observer. Insane. And it will also unpower this one piston here, retracting the block. Without this falling edge monostable circuit, the item would be locked in the barrel because this torch is locking the hoppers. And it used to be that I only had one hopper here, but now that I have 2, it collects the item that isn't your ID. That is where the item filter comes in. If it is the ID, you can see that it's just a classic item filter. If you put one more hello in, then it will go to 19, which increases the redstone signal by 1, powering this repeater, unpowering this, allowing the hopper to be unlocked, which then starts this cycle. Now all of these modules are pretty much the same, just differently laid out, and once they're all powered, then the system can do it. This means that you can't just do this one and it'll unlock, you can't just do this one and that one and it'll unlock, you need to do this one, this one, this one, and that one for all of it to unlock and power. So I'll go through how to build one single module overground. To start off with, we're going to have our barrel here with a hopper facing downwards under it. Then we can have a temporary block with a dropper facing that way, or whatever way you want it to, with a hopper facing this way, into the dropper. Now we're going to do the item filter, which we place a block here, 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 down one, and one here, and finally one here. Remove that block. Then we want a redstone comparator facing this way with redstone dust here, and a repeater facing into this block, which will power this torch. Now this hopper is locked at the moment, which means that no items can be collected or flow into this dropper, as you can see at the moment. They're not moving. For the item filter, make sure that you fill up these 4 slots with 1 and then the end slot with 18. Therefore, if you place one more item in and make it 19, you will see that it gets shot out. That also means that if you try and place an imposter, Dave, in, it means it won't go through. It'll stay in the junk one. Puh, Dave. So we're going to place a block here, here, remove this block. Then one here, go one up, remove this block, and one up here, removing that block. Then place one up here, remove that block, just like so, and then one up here, like an L along there. That is the block setup, and now for the redstone, we're going to place a comparator, then redstone, the way I say redstone, then redstone here, then a repeater here, then redstone dust again. So now if we place an item in here, you can see that it automatically gets shot out. Finally, we'll move on to the falling edge monostable circuit. Right, to make the monostable circuit, we need a block here and a block just here. On this block, we want a comparator just like that with a torch here. Then we want 3 temporary blocks, 1, 2, 3, getting rid of these 2 and placing a dropper facing upwards. Finally, we can remove this one and place a hopper facing into this dropper here. Then we can place a random item, it does not matter what item it is. Coming out of this dropper here, we want a comparator output, just like so, just like that. And then this comparator will run into a block here with redstone dust underneath it, like so. This redstone dust will then have a repeater just here, and finally a block just there. It's a very simple setup, but it would not work without it. Then we can hook up this to a T flip-flop. So, for example, we can just go like this and run it for as long as it needs to be until your T flip-flop. And we will take a repeater output from it, and then redstone dust here, and then a dropper facing this way, and a dropper facing upwards. Then we want a hopper facing into this bottom dropper with a comparator on top of it and a random item inside. Again, it doesn't matter what item it is. This comparator will then run into a block with a torch on it, and once you have many of them, it will create an AND gate as long as you link it up with redstone dust. So that is one module complete, and all you have to do is put your barrel in that corner and then just fit this underground there. Right, so what I've got here in front of me is basically all of the redstone that's going on underneath the igloo apart from the module here. All I've got from the module is the T flip-flop to show the AND gate in action. So as you can see in this setup, I have one torch on and the rest off. The redstone line is still on. However, if I unpower this one, then all of the torches are off and the redstone line is off, revealing the secret entrance. So what exactly is an AND gate? An AND gate is a circuit which produces an output signal only when signals are received simultaneously through all input connections. Basically, that means that all of these T flip-flops have to be on, depowering this torch, for the redstone line to be unpowered. Because if only one of them is on, then the redstone line is powered. We don't want that. Anyway, moving on from AND gates, here we have the piston extenders, and in Java, the double piston extender is just an observer and a repeater. That's so simple, oh my gosh. And then here we've got our just normal piston extender, and last of all, here we have our secret barrel, which then closes the entrance once we're finished. So how does this work? We place in a non-stackable item because that gives an output of 3, and that is important. So we'll place it in, and you can see it immediately goes to this barrel, but in that process, it goes into this hopper, which is then picked up by this comparator, which then runs a redstone line into this line, unpowering all of the droppers, which then reconceals the entrance here. So to get it back into this barrel, the hopper flows the item into this dropper. This dropper is an auto dropper, so it then automatically fires it into this barrel so that we can collect it straight away. That is most of the redstone apart from that done. If you include this and this, that's all the redstone done. Now we'll just take a look at how we collect the item once we're finished with it, because if we just use this setup, then the item will just flow on the floor like that. So here we are again underneath the igloo, and here you can see one of the modules. This is the bit that will push out our ID card, and that will flow into this water stream being pushed into the main stream, which will then lead to the hopper, which then goes into the chest. So that's that one module done, 3 to go. This one is not facing down because it got stuck in this little gap here. Instead, it's flowing out and then being collected by this one, flowing into this main water stream. Then, for this one over here, it's also just going down, and that flows into the main stream. Last of all, we've got this one over here, which is then shot out sideways, and it has to go down a lot, and you have to make sure that it doesn't get caught on this block here, otherwise it won't work and you won't get your ID card back. Then they all connect up and we will get our ID cards back. That is all of the redstone complete now. The whole thing is complete. What your secret entrance leads to is completely up to you, and you can be imaginative. You don't have to copy mine because yours can lead to a base, a farm, or something you just want to conceal from the members of your server. Now, unfortunately, that brings an end to this video, but thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, maybe consider subscribing because it really does mean a lot to me. Also, if you have any redstone challenges you'd like me to try, just leave your ideas in the comment section. But that's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, and have a very Merry Christmas.